Alright, welcome back to another episode of Catch and Tie. Today's episode is a mop fly. Caught a nice brook trout down in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. This mop fly, I actually tied the original version of this probably 3-4 years ago. I'd never tied any mop flies prior to that. Seen a couple guys having good luck with them and thought I'd give it a try. So I tied it maybe 4 years ago, put it in my box, didn't use it for a couple years. One day I pulled it out, threw it on the end of the line, and caught that brook trout. That brook trout was super fat. He's part of another video that a couple years ago that I put together or so, that you can watch the full-length video of that, or you can just watch the big grand finale here that I'm going to show you of that brook trout. Big fat belly on him. Holdover, stocked fish from probably a year prior. He was pretty big, pretty fat for being in that hole. That hole doesn't normally hold a lot of trout. There's a hole right up above it that does, but he's been there a while. So, okay, stay tuned. We'll go ahead and show you the fish, the catch of the fish, and we'll get back to tying a fly. Okay, thanks. See ya. Really? All right. All right, buddy. Hey, you're a nice size one. Wow. You are nice. Look at you. Buddy, oh, you're fat. Look how fat you are. Wow. Okay, here's our materials for this fly. First is this big bag of black feathers. It's actually a boa craft feathers. Good for a project like this. Got a lot of the marabou, some of the top feathers there that we're going to use. The dust mop. I already cut a bunch of these little pieces off and keep them on my desk. I keep this whole thing down in the bin downstairs in the basement. Eagle claw, number size 8, is a needlepoint octopus hook. 6/0 glass bead, lead wire, 0.015, and the unit thread is 136 denier. We're going to use a little bit of this dubbing wax this time. Sally Hansen's super glue. I think that's about it. Okay, let's get to tying here. Okay, welcome back. Now that you see me catch that fish with this mop fly, let's go ahead and tie it. What we got here is a 6/0 glass bead on a number 8 eagle claw octopus hook. It's a needle point short shank all-purpose hook is what it says. It's a little offset, and the reason I like this offset is that the gap, even though this bead's a little big, the offset on the hook allows for that gap to be efficient. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start with a little lead wrap. About 5 wraps should do it. Go ahead and spin that on there. And we're going to add a little super glue to get that in place. It's going to hold that bead up against the front there. There you go. And we're going to take our 6/0 UTC, or not UTC, this is a unithread, and start wrapping backwards after you wrap a couple times behind the lead. Go ahead and trim off the thread, the tag end, and work your way back just past the bend of the hook here. I know there's a lot of bend of this hook here, but just past the bend. And back up. Okay, this craft boa feather that I'm going to use, the very top of it is these feather parts that are straight. We're going to go ahead and trim it off. And we're going to use this as a tail. You can see it the length you like here. I put it about 1 hook length. It's a little long tail. I want it to be a little past the mop fibers whenever it's all said and done. So what I did initially on that first mop, I actually remember pretty well tying it. That's the first time I tied a mop. And I didn't use it. I tied one whole mop. Didn't use it for 2 years until I used it that day. And it worked. So I got nothing against the mop fly. What I'm doing is wrapping under the tail so it sticks out instead of down. And back up. We'll go ahead and cut that piece off there. So now you have a tail. You can split it up a little bit. That original mop in the picture, I'm going to include a picture of that original mop. I still have that. Looks like it has a nice big forked tail, but really it's just a picture. It's kind of just splayed out like that. Give it a shot. Okay, from here, what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of this mop. This mop has an end that comes apart. That's the end that I cut off the mop. And the other end won't. So you want to take the end that's you're going to work with here, the end that comes apart. I'm going to trim down the length a little bit because I want that mop to be about that long. And what you do is you strip the fibers back away, make sure it's on camera here, from the mop piece here. And what it does, it exposes these 4 threads that hold everything together. So when you have those 4 threads exposed, and you got the length that you want, go ahead and grasp it with your non-dominant hand and wrap it in. Just wrap a couple times on the front. Now you got those 4 threads. You can go ahead and trim those up. If you trim them up now, they won't get in the way later. Okay, so they're nice and trimmed. So what I did with that original mop, I just went ahead and wrapped it on there, and I really didn't want it sitting up like this. I didn't want it floating down the creek looking like that. So I wrapped back, and I wrapped back a little further, and I said, huh, that's about right. But that proposed a little problem. Now I had too much of a thorax that I needed to deal with. Being I was sitting there designing this fly, not sure what I was going to do with it, I happened to look down and seen the other part of that feather that I just clipped the end off has all this good looking marabou on it. So I took my scissors and trimmed, just trimmed right up the spine of that marabou section of the feather. Now you have a bare feather, and you got all this marabou. And I'm going to use that marabou as a little dubbing. No, we don't use marabou as dubbing because it really isn't all that great of a dubbing material. Not for me, it ain't anyway. But on this it works pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and put a little wax on the thread. And I got a little cup of water here. I got just a tiny dab of water in the bottom there. I like to wet my fingers before I handle this marabou because it's so fly away. I mean, it's just dirty material to work with. It's not real marabou that you would get at a fly shop, strung marabou. This is just stuff that you just cut up and is. So by me wetting my fingers, I'm actually able to control it a little better. I'm able to hold on to it a little better. Now you can lick your fingers, but I don't like doing that. If I lick my fingers, I'm going to have probably some disease down the road from a chicken. So go ahead and take your marabou with your wet fingers. Just damp, not soaked fingers, but you can go ahead and spin that marabou on there. And there you go. Go ahead, wrap your dubbing backwards onto the fly. Back up and in behind the head there. Okay, looking pretty good. Now from here, let's take a little bit of this Sally Hansen's. Just a drop on the thread. Couple wraps. This is going to secure the thread. You're going to go ahead and finish it. Cut it away. And you're almost done. What I like to do, and what I did on that original fly, is take my brush, not this brush because I only got this one here this year, but took a brush, like probably a toothbrush that I have on my tying desk. I'm tying at the kitchen table is what I'm doing here. I don't have room on for my camera on my tying desk. It's got to be facing me or over my shoulder or something, and I just don't have the room. So that's what I did. So I Got my little tail. I got a small portion of the mop. I got the marabou dubbing with a glass bead, a little lead to make it a little heavier. Thing about this mop, when this gets wet, it'll sink. So you don't need lead at all. The only reason I really put the lead on there is to seat this bead up tight up there. And if you put enough thread on there, it does the same thing. But there you have it. You have a mop fly. Don't have a name for this mop fly other than a mop fly. I'll figure something out before I post this video. But I hope you like it. And go ahead and tie one up yourself. It's a guaranteed trout catcher, as you've seen in the video. I actually, earlier in the original video, I used this at the base of a spillway there to catch a couple other trout, I do believe. I haven't watched the video in a couple of years, but it works well. And I hope you enjoy it. I know it's a real popular fly on the creek. Everybody has them, and so should you.